as I was discussing with you, Kashish Gemini, the co-founder of Toffle, is here with us on This is FTC.
Hello, everybody.
So, Kashish, a lot more people know about your brand as compared to about you.
Yeah.
So just to start off with, right, just give us a brief background about yourself. Where did your passion or where did your entry into this space come from? And just like a brief something about your journey into it. And we'll go deeper into it in this podcast, but I just want to know, like, for someone who's listening to you for the first time, like, in just 2 minutes, tell them about Kashish.
Okay. So, well, I do not come from a design background. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have nothing to do with business. My family has nothing to do with business.
Okay.
I was in engineering college. In second year, when I realized this is not for me, mm-hmm. I finished it, but I moved back to Delhi with a friend.
What engineering college?
This was KIIT in Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
And the Bridge, my co-founder, was my classmate.
No way.
Yeah, so he was really good
Right.
at his thing, and we moved here to Delhi to start something of our own. Startup was a big thing back then. Mm-hmm. And we started with a couple of things, but you know, when you think about something in a room, it's very different. And when you get out in the market and try and test it, it's very different. So we realized a lot of things that we thought were very going to change things. People were not ready for it. We got a reality check, and we failed a couple of times.
What were you trying to start, if you don't mind asking?
It was a hyper local app, which was like catering to all the electronics market in your locality. Mm-hmm. And then there was this thing which something similar to Zomato, but not exactly. So there were a couple of other things. We were designing a fashion website for clothing stores across Delhi and all those things. So they did not work out because people are not very into it. So later we started with trading in clothing section. Right. And after a certain point, I got bored because I was only able to sell things which were like given to me from these guys who were probably, making without any thought behind the whole thing. And I started designing I designed 5 hoodies to start with, and we expected like a very low sales for the first month, and we reached if I give you the numbers, like 3 lakh, like 1 lakh in 3 days we did. And it just changed everything. Like, we were not making any money back then. And then all of a sudden, in 3 days, we had all this money.
Right.
So I thought...
And where did you sell?
I was selling online on my website.
Was the name Toffle already decided?
Yeah, Toffle decided.
Okay.
We'll come to that, how that came to be. And so that happened. And then I think that kick-started everything. Mm-hmm. And then all the learnings came in, how cash on delivery bites you, how shipping partners are not very friendly, how people do not take things they don't take things seriously.
They order and then they just
they take it for granted. All those things happen in payment gateways, and I had no idea how anything works, how to tie up with these partners, how to open an account for this website, this brand, this company. All of the things happened for the next, I think it started in 2016. Mm-hmm. And I think 2016 and 17 and early 18 were our learning phase. We learned a lot and we shifted. So this idea or this concept behind the brand has kept evolving with time, as similarly I have been growing, so it grows with me. And now it is something very different. Mm-hmm. It's not just about making cool clothes. And I had no idea what streetwear is. I had absolutely no idea that these brands exist. To me, back then, I think I started shopping for myself in college. Right. Okay. Before that, it was just whatever is coming in, I'm okay with it. I never paid that much attention. Yeah. And then So to me, all these brands, the fast fashion brands, Zara and H&M, for everybody, just like everybody, they were the brands for me.
Right.
These are cool brands and everything. And then I realized,
There's a whole
this
different
happens
world.
and that happens. And now it has become my language. I started with this. I was trying to sell cool clothes, and then I thought, okay, Bridge asked me one day, what if some rich guy comes into the market? This is a business. This is a competitive business, and one day he comes in, and he has all the money, more money than you. Toffle has had no investment. It has been bootstrapped from day one.
Right.
And somebody comes in, and he has all the money, and he just starts selling like this, and just takes over the market. It's a huge market, but still, the audience is still very niche.
Right.
So what will you do then? He can just take it away like this, because you are working with the bare minimum funds, and funds matter a lot with advertisements and all these things. Like, nobody knows you. You have just an online store. Your Instagram is, nowhere. So I worked on that, and that thought changed a lot of things. So now, even when now I want to tell all the guys who are starting out, if you think, if you share your idea and somebody can just take it and do it better, don't start it. Right? If anybody can come in and just take that and do it better than you, then why are you doing it in the first place?
Yeah, because there's always going to be someone who can do it cheaper, or in a bigger distribution channel on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
So if your idea doesn't stand that test, that litmus test, then there's no point in pursuing it.
Yeah, I mean, back then, I was always reading about all these tech giants, and I come from a tech background. So, there was a funny story. There was a food startup, and Amazon just announced that they are entering this market. Okay, and boom, the company was gone. Yeah. The investors pull out because just by the thought that these giants are entering this,
it always happens.
You will not last.
Yeah, even in e-commerce, right? When there was a huge boom where all of these guys, Snapdeal, whoever that came up, they raised tons of money, raised tons of investment, and we now know maybe 4 players in the market. At some point, there were 40 people, 40 companies trying to vie for the same spot. That today is Flipkart, Amazon, and maybe 2 more.
Yeah.
The moment a big company comes in, there is consolidation. Either they shut shop, or they get acquired, or acqui-hired, or whatever, and that is bound to happen.
Yeah.
The only place where that doesn't happen though is fashion, in some ways, because it might be there might be different brands owned by one conglomerate, but because each brand represents something different, if the brand is true to what they say, it tries to represent something different and tries to tell a different story.
Each brand has their own personality.
Exactly.
At least it develops over time.
So just stemming from that, what is the story behind the name Toffle?
So I just like the sound of this word.
Sound of the word Toffle.
Okay. Then I looked up what this means, and the word does not exist. Okay, so I was like, brilliant. This is what I was looking for, to make something of my own, which just does not exist, and the spelling is right. Okay, there's this English exam which is spelled T-O-E-F-L. Yeah. So I said T-O-F-F-L-E is way better. So it just started, and it clicked because it also rhymes with Google, Oracle, Apple.
Right.
So Toffle, stuck with me.
Makes sense. And so you just on a whim said it's going to be Toffle.
Yeah, for
sure.
Did
do you remember how the word came to you?
I've thought about it. I've been thinking about it since last night when you called me and asked for this. I don't know. I don't remember, because it was. I've been through in this 4 years. Now what happens is all my friends, when they joined the tech companies and all of those places, the growth that happens. For them, which happened in 2 years or 3 years, it happened for me in months, because I was handling everything. I was the delivery guy for Toffle for the first 6-7 months,
I'm sure.
A lot of people in Delhi would recognize me. Ki, this guy came to us with the T-shirt. I was doing that. I was handling payments. I was all of the things which you can think of, and there's a lot which goes on. It's not like in college. Back in college, the teachers tell you. We used to discuss about all these companies and Ola, which was very new back then.
Right.
The app is the product. Okay, the app is the thing. You get an app and do the bookings and everything is smooth line from there. But it's not. I'm not for anybody who's starting a streetwear brand. It's not just about making a T-shirt and selling it.
Right.
There are plenty of things, plenty of documents, paperwork, and accounts, and all of that which you have to take care of. So
100%.
that is learning. So it has been that space.
So. 2016, you and Bridge get out of college and are like, okay, let's do something in the tech space. You try your hand at it for a year and a half, and then you start a streetwear brand. That's a story. Okay, how did you decide that you're going to do this with Bridge, or why not do it alone, and why do it with Bridge if do it with Bridge? And the reason I'm asking this question is because a lot of people, when they're trying to start out, right, and even to date, people who have started out solo always come up to me and Avni, my sister, and say, you guys are lucky that you are two of you who you can trust 100% and know that they'll always have the best for the company in mind. So how did you choose Bridge to be your co-founder?
Okay, so Bridge, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, okay? I have seen that he was one of those guys who would never go to classes, okay, and would just show up. He had a lot of bags and all of those things, but I've seen, and he had his name in Google's Wall of Fame in world's top 40 bug reporters. He used to do bug bounty, and I've seen the guy work on his 2 or 3 laptops on his table and go on for 3 days, 3 nights.
Like just straight?
Yeah, not going to the class, not going to the college, and just on it. And that level of dedication turned things around for me. I cannot be this, I cannot do this.
Right.
I do not feel I can do this. And if I'm not going to do this ever, then why am I here? And he was pretty bored of all this. So he wanted to move on and have, a real experience of how business grows. Because when you do one thing with all the dedication and all the passion in the world, it teaches you 5-6, you would know this, 5-6 other things which you did not
50,
even think of.
60, yeah. So yeah, you were saying you start working on one thing and then it goes.
Yeah, so when I'm designing a T-shirt and I'm working on it, day and night. So, and then stitching it, of course. So while doing that, it teaches you hard work. It teaches you what real passion is. Okay, when you're not making money for months and you're still working day and night, it teaches you what passion really is, and it hits you. And a lot of other things come in. Okay, this is how this works, and this is how you have to handle things, and this is how life works. It's not on computers. It's not in the cubicles. It happens here. So this has been a great journey so far. And with Bridge now, and we have had our journey where things are not working out, and because see, this is one point that I want to bring in. Now, because it's like a lot of people know about what streetwear is and what streetwear brand is, and everybody is starting out. And a lot of people, DM me asking you, how's this design? How should I go for this and that? Right. And I'm all support and everything, because I did not have a lot of the support or anything back then, back in 2016. So now when somebody is starting this, okay, I forgot the point.
You try to help them out as much as possible, for sure. Bridge. There are differences with Bridge, right? You were talking about that.
We've gone through the journey. That was a damn good point, yeah.
कोई नहीं, सोच लो भाई, कॉफी दियो.
हाँ, आ गया. And it is very important, yeah.
10 years later. Yeah.
So now when people are starting, so everybody knows, and they get recognition very fast. Okay, like there is homegrown, there is you guys and the main street and all these guys. So they cover you.
Right.
They want to promote you because that's how the scene will grow. And when you design something and it picks up overnight and it sells,
Right.
it's a pretty good thing. But also it kind of like ensures you that you do not need to do more. Okay, it kind of
Makes you a little
makes you
complacent.
comfortable.
Yeah.
When I was doing this, not things are not going as I was expecting, and so I continuously kept bothering myself and like troubling Bridge also. What should we do that things work out, and that's how growth happens.
Agreed.
Otherwise, if you are selling and if everything is good, why would you need to change anything? And I think that has been the reason for this much growth in this time.
So when would you say you've been doing like something along the lines of it for almost 4 years now?
Yeah.
More than 4 years. But when would you say you were like, fuck, this is the real? Like this is, I mean, not just the fact that I started the brand, but the fact that this is now being accepted and being acknowledged. This is real. When would you say that? Was that moment? It's like, damn.
I don't think there was any such exact moment, but like it has been a process of things falling into the right places. But there was this one moment which I remember. The Edgy event happened in 2018, yes, 17, I think, 18, okay. And I went there with Bridge, and we saw people wearing all these fancy things. And back then Toffle was like nowhere, okay. It was not like the quality was not as such, the language was not what it is now. And I went there and I saw everybody, and I did not know anybody, like, not even RD, nothing.
Right.
And I went there and I saw these guys wearing Babe and the off-white belts which cost like $40,000 and all that. And I just thought this, like I left within I think an hour or something. I left after checking the space. I thought I don't belong here right now, and they don't need me, and like, what am I even doing here? And then I could see, because then I was selling some business was happening, and I was getting comfortable, and then I just saw all these things.
Right.
And then it occurred then I could see, okay, there's a long way to go now. And I think that moment kind of pushed me more into this. Yeah, made it clear. You need to do a lot more. This is not going to work otherwise. And then it has been a process. Then I met RD through Instagram, and he has been one of the very few guys, probably the only guy who has helped me a lot. Because when you do not see these brands, now I come from a very different background, and I've had no exposure to all these fancy things and all these high quality products. So if I have never touched it, if I've never felt it, how would I know what do I need to do? So I spoke to him about this, and he was kind enough to invite me to his place, and he showed me all these Supreme t-shirts and his Louis Vuitton jackets and Japanese denims and everything. And he said, this is the standard which you have to match. And then, of course, I did a lot of things, and
you went back and
yeah.
this is the standard I have to match. No, I think so. I'd like to take a moment to appreciate RD as well.
Of course.
Super helpful, always there whenever you need him. Yesterday I had like a 40-minute call with him.
Okay.
I was just speaking about something.
Yeah.
He's as blunt as it gets, right? He doesn't sugarcoat stuff. he says it like he sees it.
This is the deal that I have with him. Okay, he is one person. I take feedback very nicely. I have no problem if you tell me what is wrong with my product. I will try to explain, but I'll appreciate, because that is the only way now I'll grow.
Right.
And I've told this to Arida. Whatever you feel like, whenever you see something which is made by Toffle, and whatever you feel, however things are, you tell me straight. Even if you have to abuse me for it, what is this shit that you have made? Anything,
yeah.
I will take it. Okay, that is the kind of faith I have with this guy. So that just tells you.
No, I 100% agree. Even when we were setting up this space, right? Like trying to get to brands, trying to discover more, and also trying to get to the footwear brands and all of that. He was super helpful in just making those connects happen, because he's been around for a long time. Yeah. He's been with SSIPL and all of that. So it's been for him, this is like something that he's seen grow pretty much from the start of it. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Okay.
And it pisses a lot of people off. He is, straightforward.
Yeah, it's. I agree.
It should not, man. It should not.
See, people are different, right? Like some people have become so accustomed to not hearing things straight. Like people don't have straight conversations today. So when someone comes in and doesn't sugarcoat anything, it's an affrontation for them. They don't understand how to react to it. So for people who are used to just being straightforward and simple, for them it doesn't matter if someone is straightforward and simple. But for people who like try to go down winding staircases, it doesn't work out.
To each their own,
I guess. So we've covered a bunch of like why the name Toffle, why your co-founder Bridge. What is just one crazy memory that you can recall that you're like, I'm here because of what I started, and I can't believe that I'm here, or I can't believe that this has gone to that extent where I find myself in this position.
Well, it's nowhere close, so I cannot say it has.
But I'm sure, when we started, we never thought that it would mean or matter much to a lot. We just thought we'll do our thing and we'll see. But then, stuff happens. You get opportunities which you never thought you would get, and you get to do things that you get to be in the room with some people you never thought you'd be in the room with. So what is maybe one or two memories that you can be like, I can't believe this happened, because I wouldn't have been able to even think of this happening 3 years ago?
Well, it's a matter of mindset, because people judge this differently. Okay, some people, I get a lot of these questions. Who do you see as your competitor? And I'm like, how are you, how are you running this competition? First, tell me that. Okay, because it cannot be based on the products. Because every person who's doing good has their own style, has their own things to say.
Right.
It is not about the t-shirt. It's not about the hoodie. It's about what we have done with the hoodie. What is on it. Okay, and that is different for every brand. So the only way you can monitor this weird competition is through the numbers they're making.
Right.
And because that is the priority for a lot of people. Okay, so I have seen and met people who are nice to you only if you're buying from them. Okay, and then they're not. As soon as you're not the customer, they're like, okay, I have other things to do.
Yeah.
And with me, it's not like that. So even if I make one thing, okay, and it does not sell, I am good with it. The day I finish it, the day I am okay with, okay, this is the final thing and it looks so beautiful. That feeling of creating something new from scratch, that is what I do this for. Okay, the numbers and all of this, it matters. Okay, the business, the whole thing matters. But my satisfaction comes from the new product.
The creation of it.
Once that is done, I am sorted, because we come from a generation where our basic requirements were fulfilled.
Always, yeah.
Okay, from our parents and all the hard work and the struggle that they went through,
right.
They have everything in place. We have everything. So we are as free as, Bill Gates' son, yeah, Ambani's son. You are free to do whatever you want. People don't get this. Their freedom, the freedom that they have.
Right.
They can do and go and do anything. They can be in a profession where they're not making money.
But if
it's fulfilling for them, then why not? And a lot of kids I see, they rush into colleges and all these things because this particular job has a has a market value.
Right.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Market value.
I've
like people do stuff for their resume and all of that.
Yeah.
And so for you, engineering, was that something you were like, why am I here? Or was it more like, okay, I should finish this and then see what I want to do?
See, I like to finish things that I start, okay, and because this was my choice, I wanted to do this. But at the same time, there was a lack of knowledge, exposure, you can say, which I think nobody gets when they're in school and college. They're like, choose this stream and then we'll see. Choose this and then we'll see. Okay, and that fucks you up in some ways.
It does.
Okay, you're like, okay, now I'm in college and I'm here, and what next? So when now I have to tell people who are like starting out, I tell them, start from the end. Okay, decide what you want to do, what you want to become, and also like do a research. The people who are actually doing it today, how they feel, how their journey has been, what is the mistake that they have made. So learn from that, and then make these decisions. All these small decisions, what you're going to pick, subjects you're going to pick for your high school, the college that you're going to go into. It will make your life easier because you will know, okay, this is the path that I have to follow because I have to reach there.
Right.
It should not be.
Yeah. Honestly, like I feel that at some point, and this just struck me, and my parents have been very supportive their entire life, but I feel like there's this whole system in which until a point in time, your parents make decisions for you, right? Like what stream to choose. They're like, commerce lo beta, ya science lo beta, or whatever, XYZ.
Yeah.
And then college, kaun sa college jana hai, yahan jao, ye karo, all of that. And then once you graduate, they're like, ab kya kar rahe ho? Then you make the decisions. Until that point, they've made all the decisions that have shaped your life. But then after that, they're like, beta, ab kya karna hai tumko? And then they expect you to make decisions which are right. So I feel like that's a very like messed up system, that you mold someone a certain way, you guide them till one point, and then like, chalo, I've ticked off all of these boxes, now you figure it out. So, and by that time, a person who is maybe at the age of 11 wanted to do X has already been through 10 years of doing Y.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're like, oh, I wanted to do X.
I wasted all this time.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's a weird system that way, and I feel there is no right or wrong answer to it. I think it's just as I said, I think we've been lucky as kids to have all of the basics taken care of and to be able to think freely and have someone who supports us in thinking freely, and just being able to go out and do things which are important to us and we feel can also grow and become something real.
I don't think people take this seriously, but a job of a teacher, parenting, this is the biggest, responsibility for these guys, and people take it very casually. My father once said, the maturity does not come with age. With age, only experience is the thing which comes in. Maturity, it just happens. It can happen. A person in high school can be more mature than a person who's in his 30s. Okay, so the way that he has been brought up, the mindset that he has, the thing that he has seen, and how he feels, when he connects with himself, when he finds his personality, what colors he like or what jacket he's gonna put on. This is what all of this is about. You making your choices consciously, and not just picking up things which has been handed to you.
Agreed. Did your father wear Toffle clothes?
Now he does. Very, very basic. Very, yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, very simple.
Minimal. Yeah. No, that's a question that I ask because it's interesting to see, like, if we weren't doing this, our parents would probably never even look at clothes that we make, right?
Yeah.
Or the similar clothes that we try to sell.
So I had this question, na, ki, I think I was a kid back then, and I saw this jacket, okay, and it was 70 or 80,000 bucks back then, and I was like, my jacket cost $1,000. So why is there such a huge difference? And my dad was like, these guys are just crazy. It's absurd. They're just mad. And
Yeah, I've heard that one.
so I made sure I need these answers. So when someone else asks me why this costs so much, I should be able to tell them, okay, this is the reason why this costs so much and what is the whole thing, and not just say, because they don't know. And I don't want to be, that.
People don't know what they don't know, and I feel like although there shouldn't be a situation in which you justify the price tag that you put on a product as long as it's reasonable. But to an Indian consumer, which is a more value-conscious consumer, I think that question does come up, where they ask these questions, and they want to ask, like, people who purchase on Supreme's website don't ask this question, right? They don't ask, why is this sweatshirt $150?
You know why? Because they cannot interact with the founder of Supreme. Otherwise, they would have asked him for discounts as well. If they would have been friends with him, they'll be like, sir.
Sir,
yeah, because
discount?
we are so accessible, and everybody is in a way through Instagram.
Right.
So everybody
Just
kind of gets
yeah.
in that zone.
I mean, like, honestly, people shooting their shot is what we also did, right? Like, we just DM'd random people just in the hope of getting a reply. And to be honest, when we did Soul DXB, it was on the back of a DM. I literally DM'd their official account, and they said,
well, that's how this has started. That's how Toffle is here today.
Right.
You messaged me, bro, would you like to join in? Would you like to see the space? I was like, okay, let me come. And then we met.
RD connected us, I think, right? Or how? That's the question I want to ask. How did we first met here only, no? Like when you came
Yeah,
in?
the first time at the store here. We have spoken a couple of times on Instagram, and that's all.
So life works in like different ways, man. It's crazy, and to have you here was something that I think when we were finalizing, like, okay, which brands to have, how to do it. I think that was the time when you dropped your most recent collection. And I saw like a barrage of stories on Toffle's Instagram, right? Like 25 or so. And I just like kept clicking, and I was like, bro, this is some like soup. Because in the pandemic, a lot of brands have either slowed down or not put out anything new for like 4 or 5 months. And I think that was the case with you guys as well. Because it was just slow, like everything was slow. And then it just kind of restarted. And I was like, I think there's potential here, and I think we should definitely have a chat.
Yeah.
So, and then here we are. It's crazy how these things happen. I have a question about collaborations. What are your thoughts on collaborations in today's world? And do you think, like, how do you approach them, firstly? And what is the impact of friends of Toffle on Toffle as a brand? And by friends of Toffle, I mean people who've supported you and really helped you on your way. How do you rate that impact in terms of, like, how much has that helped you as a brand?
Okay, to start with, the collaborations. As of now, the only person that I've collaborated with is RD, and I'm wearing the latest drop, which is dropping.
Sad Boys.
Yeah, Sad Boys.
Yeah.
It's his brand, and for all the others, I am always open to helping them out. But a lot of people come in and they're like, I want to collaborate with you, but I don't know what we're gonna make. So I have this, thing. I will never sell a T-shirt which just has Toffle written on it and it's a plain simple t-shirt. I would never do that, because I believe that the world does not need another clothing brand. It does not need another t-shirt brand. It's about what you are putting out. So every piece, everything you see in a collection, there's one piece that stands out.
Right.
Okay, so why make all the others when they are, vanilla? Okay, so all the pieces, I put in as much effort as I would in the entire collection. So one piece should speak volumes. So based on that, I think when you collaborate with somebody, how it should happen is what you think, what your language is, and what he thinks or he feels, she feels. So this should mix, and a viable product, a cool product should come out of this,
right,
which has your elements, which has their elements, and it can be seen. Okay, these two very different brands worked on this, and it's not just that they have put their logos and they're selling it. That is not happening. There is a lot more. That is, I think, what puts value into it. Otherwise, why? So, and I'm open to this. Anybody, any individual, if they have a cool design, if they think they can work, like I said, making one piece, making one thing for them, it's not,
hard,
it's not hard. I will do it, and I will do my best to promote it and sell it for you.
Definitely.
But you need to come up with something. You need to design.
It has
something.
to be unique. Yeah, it has to be them, and then it has to have elements of Toffle.
Because I want people to know how you think or how you see the world.
Right.
And
what about friends of Toffle?
Okay, so honestly, none of my friends, none of my dad's friends, no member from my family, nobody has ever bought anything from Toffle. Okay, and I think of it in a very positive way, because I had this question with me: who do you see wearing Toffle, or who is your ideal customer? And I'm always like, the person who sees what I see in my product, the person who gets why I've made this product, and not just because this is cool. I mean, it's okay if you think it's cool and you're buying it, but know about it. So with family and friends, you can never be sure if they really want it, or they're just doing it to support you.
Right.
So they've never bought anything, and I've never pushed anybody. I never push anybody to buy it. If you connect with it, if you really want it, make a conscious choice. I hate, there's this fast fashion thing. Okay, people talk about it all the time, and there's nothing more I can say that you already don't know. But the thing that I've realized is, it's not just the brands, the fast fashion whole trend. It's not just a brand. It's not just Zara, H&M, and all these guys. It's much more. It's you. You're a part of it. I mean, if you are buying 5 t-shirts, 6 t-shirts every month or every other month,
then you're aiding that whole process.
Because if you're wearing just 1 or 2 pieces and your whole thing is filled, it usually happens with all of our friends. Even in my family, it happens. Okay, my sister would be like, "What should I wear today?" And she has 5 times more, than I have, all the pieces, all the clothes. But she'll still be like, "I need more." Why do you need more? Why do you need more? Pick pieces, shop what you really want, and wear the shit out of it, right? Otherwise, you're just contributing the whole thing. Putting a story on Instagram and preaching all these things does not matter at all.
I agree. I think that whole fast-paced consumerism culture is in a way, it's seeped into not just the bigger brands, but it's all brands. Otherwise, there would be no reason for there to be 200 new products dropping every day.
And that is why the cost is so cheap. No? Right. People argue why this jacket costs 10,000, because when a fast fashion company makes a jacket, they don't make one piece, they make 10,000 pieces. Okay, and when you buy more fabric, when you buy more threads, when you buy more accessories, it costs you less.
And when you make more, it costs you less again, because you're able to build economies of scale.
Yeah, so that is why there's such a huge gap. I'm not making those many pieces and waiting for them to sell out. I'm making one thing at a time. I'm putting in all my efforts, and that's how much it costs me to get fabric and like all the resources for that piece. It costs me different than it costs the other fast fashion brand.
So
Stop asking. Why is it so cheap? Why is it so expensive?
I want to explore that process with you, because I know how you work now. Working with you, but can you explain your process, because you don't mass manufacture, right? Like, you don't have ready stock of a bunch of things lying around.
Yeah.
Whatever you design, you make one piece each, and then you make it per order, correct? So explain how you've been able to set up a process, and this is more so for people who are planning to start as well.
Yeah.
Is how do you go into a process in which you get an order today and you can fulfill it 5 days from now? Because that, I think, is a problem a lot of people do face on the making side of things, and I think it's a good way to educate a customer to know how much time to expect in terms of ordering something from Toffle, whether that's through your website or through the space here. But just knowing the process is something that I think, if you explain, would be a lot better.
Okay, so when I started designing, so I did not know anything about manufacturing and how things work. So I tried to outsource these things. And in India, nobody works on time, nobody delivers things on time, and nobody takes you seriously with the quantity that you have. Because these guys have been working for companies who are getting 500 hoodies made, and
or
you
5,000.
want 5,000, and you are asking them to make you 50 hoodies. They will not take you seriously. Your work will not happen unless you are in the factory with them and pushing them to make the things that I've asked. Even if you're paying them the amount that they have asked, which is again higher than the for other companies, so because your quantity is low, does not happen. And I experienced that in my early days, and for like 2 or 3 drops, I used to get very pissed off. Why am I wasting so many things? Like, all this time has been wasted where I could have been doing things. It takes 2-3 months easily when you're designing even 8 t-shirts and waiting for them to come out.
Right.
And then a lot of blunders happen because it's a quantity thing and not a quality thing.
Right.
So when all of that is happening, I'm thinking, why not get the setup at my place, and a small setup, and start making one thing at a time. Get a tailor, fix his salary, and do that.
Right.
It is more beneficial. I will not have to make these many pieces.
Right.
I cannot
you can control the process.
I can maintain the quality. Right. And also, when you make 50 hoodies, even if 45 of those sells out, even then when those 5 hoodies are left, I feel why are these things going to waste? And that's how like every brand works. And then they put these 5 hoodies on sale.
Right.
So I have a couple of issues with this. So one, it is not fair for the customer who paid full price for the hoodie in the first place, and then the other guy is just paying less for this. It's unfair for the first person. And then it also kind of damages your brand, the whole sale process when you grow bigger, because people will start waiting for that sale, because that's how their mind works. So why do that? Yesterday I think somebody asked me, will this go on sale or something? I said, Toffle's products will never go on sale because they don't need to go on sale. I don't have things, I don't have what they call it?
You don't have a ready stock, which is...
I don't have dead stock. I have moved on from that problem. So I have a small setup at my place, and now it's a medium-sized setup. So I have a couple of guys, and I sit and make the first product, which I'm pushing. And then based on that I keep as a sample, and based on that, all the other orders as they come in, the pieces are made. And it's a pretty fast process because that's how I have, set up the whole thing with everybody. If you place an order today, it will be made in a day or two, because the fabrics are there. I keep a certain amount of fabrics. And then there's an after process, because I don't just take the product off the machines and pack it and sell it. I wash it, Okay, I take care of I iron it, I take care of the packaging and the whole thing.
Right.
And a lot of effort goes into that as well. It's not
Yeah, I
just
think we've seen it. Like I've seen products being delivered here from here, and I agree. I see the attention to detail for sure. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand or appreciate at times is that when you get that packet in your hand, right?
yeah.
There's so much more to it than meets the eye. It's like from the color of the thread to the quality of the fabric to the printing to the embroidery to every single thing that makes a part of that package has been a process. And all you see is the final product as a consumer. And I think people who appreciate, like people who understand that story a lot better are then people who come back and want more.
Because how people work in India, how customers work in India is ki the second they get a discount from some other place, okay, they'll go to that platform, like Flipkart and Myntra, both same here, but like some other companies which huge range of products, they don't have customer loyalty. Okay, the people are only there for discounts.
Right.
So somebody else is giving them a better price, they'll go there. They don't care about your brand. And with us, with like all of us, it's not that, because you will not get this. First of all, you will not get this product anywhere else.
Right.
It is my thing. Second of all, the prices, okay, they're not gonna change.
Right.
I'm not gonna cheat you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I tell this to people, even if I give the same product to, if it has been a general release, okay, and I give a t-shirt to, let's say, Raftar brother. So if I have charged him 2,500 for that t-shirt, now I will charge the same from any random person, and I will not charge Raftar bhaiya for more than what the price is.
Agreed.
Okay.
So it's not arbitrary. It is like flat for anyone and everyone.
Yeah, and I've seen people who are celebrities. They have jackets worth rupees 4 lakhs and 5 lakhs in their closet, but I will still charge them 2,500 for that T-shirt. I will not charge them more.
No, I get that, because it's just uniform. It just
if you're not honest in your business, you will it will come back
and bite you. Well, for sure. I get that. So you were just mentioning about Raftar. How did that happen? How did you meet him, or how did he discover you? Did you reach out? How did that happen?
So I texted a lot of people, okay, hoping that they will see it, and does not happen. Okay, it does not happen. But magically that day, he saw it. He saw the message, and he just asked his all of these guys have their stylist,
Right.
and they take care of the products and the sourcing and everything. So her stylist, I did not know that she is his stylist, and she emailed me, I need these things, when can you deliver? And I said, okay, I'll make this and everything. The price was set and everything. And then the day I delivered those pieces, that's when she told me, okay, these are for Raftar. I was like, okay, wait a second, I've got a letter for him. So I wrote a letter and I gave it with it. He gave it to him as a thank you note. And then then I met him. He's a super nice guy. I've been to his place, and he does not fake it anything. He's just as real as
he is who he is, and he is what he is. Yeah, for sure.
He comes to all these meetups and places which have happened recently. The STI event, all these events. He just comes by, drops by, no security, nothing, and he's there chilling with.
No, I know. I've met him as well, and I agree with you on that. Like, just being super nice and like straightforward about everything, and doesn't like being given free stuff.
He pays for everything.
And I think that's something that is like, I'm sure you get sourcing queries and all of that. So I feel like at some point.
So I never asked you this. Sorry. Do you source stuff?
No.
No? Good for you, man.
Yeah. I think just sourcing a product out kind of devalues what it means. And if it's available for purchase for anyone else, it's available for purchase for whoever wants to buy it. So
a lot of hassle for you. And I have nothing against it. for people who have that capacity, who have those pieces sitting in their shops and stores,
And they can just
they
share.
can send it. It's a win-win for both the parties. They get, the PR for that, and they get pictures of celebrities wearing their product, and it's all good. They don't lose anything. But when you have to make something, and that is a different thing, how it devalues things, because no matter who, like of course there would be exceptions, but otherwise, if they've got the stuff for free, they will not value it.
Right.
Okay, even if something damages it, whatever, they'll be like, okay, what to care for? Like, I got this for free anyways.
Right.
So when you place your product in that situation,
Yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors for the long run. I agree.
and sales over followers any day.
Danda. I don't think a lot of people appreciate that running the finances behind something which is this, on the grassroots level, is not easy. It's a month to month, constant battle where you're trying to at least make enough to meet every month's expenses and a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of segues into my next question. What does the future hold for Toffle? And where do you, because this is something I want to understand from you in terms of scalability, in terms of how you see things going forward, because you don't want to keep that stock and so on and so forth. So what is the future hold for Toffle?
See, the reason why I started making made to measure was because I thought there are a lot of people who do not fit in standard sizes. Either their legs are longer, or they have their hands are longer, or their abdomen is smaller. So they need those fittings in their product. They get the stuff and then they get the fittings done. So why not do it yourself? And it also
Shortens the process, yeah, because it's made as per, yeah.
So with Toffle, I've been asked, what is your schedule for the next week and what you're doing next week? I don't know. In the position I'm in, everything is happening so fast and a lot of things are happening. So I just know what I'm doing tomorrow. I have some idea
Of day after?
Yeah. Of day after, and how, I have this in mind, what is happening next month, but I do not have the timeline. I do not have any of those things because things change like this, right? So right now, I can say I was on a break for 5 months, good 5-6 months. So I have so many things that I need to push out, because if I could, okay, and I've been told do not release so many things in the same week, in the same time frame, because it just it confuses the customer what to buy and what, he gets, I'll wait for the next thing because so many things are coming, and there are a lot of those things. I get it, but here I do not have to wait. I'm not making 50 of each. I'm just making these 22 pieces, so it does not damage me, and I'm nowhere close to being short of designs to put out. Right? I have so many things. I have so many drops coming. I'm bringing I think 22 pieces to the store to get in within this week. I have all those things planned. I'm bringing, then the next collection is something, then the next collaboration is happening, and for summers I have plans. So I have so much. So why hold them back? I need to show what I am capable of. So I'm pushing as much as possible, as quickly as possible, and I'm still lacking behind.
I think that for someone who's in your position, I think there's always that feeling of there's still one more thing that I could do. There's still something missing, and I think that's what helps you improve every day. It just pushes you that one step forward every time to say, I've done this, but it can be better. And as long as that mindset stays alive, I think just growth keeps on happening.
So when you do not come from a design background, how you approach it is you think of something, a t-shirt, and then you have finalized the whole thing. And what I would suggest is sleep on it for a day or two, okay? And you don't need to take feedbacks. Just put it there and just, when you're walking, just give it a look and just see what can be done better. And once you reach there, then it's done. Okay, now this piece cannot be made better. with the thought process that it has been initiated.
Right.
So I reached there. Whatever you see, I have already done that and made that and thought about it weeks and weeks ago.
Right.
So I am already on the next thing.
Right.
So the things that come out, I've been bored of it.
Yeah, it's a waiting game, I think. I don't think a lot of people understand that in our line of work is, for people who buy it, it's probably instant gratification. But for us, it's not instant gratification at all. It's a process for going from choosing the fabric to making a product, then putting it out, and then seeing the response to it. It's a much longer process. So what does the future hold, not just for the next year, but like Toffle, what is Toffle going to be for you in the next 5 years, 3 years, whatever time frame you want to give it? But where do you want to take it?
Okay, so there are two ways that people do things here, as I spoke of. Okay, one is they want to be successful and make this much money and this and that, and their goals are like that. My satisfaction came when I sorted these things out, when I was happy with the products that I was making. So where I want to be, what I want to do, if I want to have a store at some places, all those things are very basic. Okay, and they are for like what they are for everybody. Everybody wants their brand to have a store. Everybody wants their brand to be selling everywhere. They need to have a store, overseas and everything. Those things are there. But I'm good.
You're good where you are.
I'm good. Okay, I'm happy. I'm satisfied. And it does not. It happens ki if like one piece. People ask me, what is your favorite piece from this collection? And I'm like, I would not have made this piece or that piece if they were not my favorite. Right? So even if they do not sell, I do not get demotivated at all.
You're happy with
I'm happy, I'm good. I'll wear it if it's not selling.
Right.
I'm done. Okay, whatever things, how they unfold, it's not in my control, so why worry?
I think that perspective is super important to have, because it's very easy to get demoralized, and we've all been there. Like I've been there for sure. As early as like recently as day before yesterday, you're in that position where you're like, I thought of all of this and it didn't work out, and now now what? And it's just about picking yourself back and like kind of getting in the zone of why you started in the first place. So
for selling, best way to sell is to never be desperate to sell it. Things will happen.
As simple as that. Cool. So you've seen the evolution in the industry for 4 years. What are your thoughts of the space that we've built and that we're sitting in? And where, like, how do you see the industry or the culture evolving in the future? It's evolved quite a bit in the last 5-6 years, and it's spaces like this coming up are definitely a sign of how much it's evolved. But so two questions: what are your thoughts on spaces as a whole? Do you think that they still hold significance in a post-COVID world? And secondly, like, where do you see the culture going forward?
Okay, so to begin with, there was a time when stores, they became old-fashioned, and people moved to websites because more accessibility, 24/7 open. Now, but that happened in the West and everywhere. For these brands in India, you need to start, okay? All the other guys everywhere else in the world are already there. They have a website and that works for them. It sells out. There are bots fighting for the purchase. But here, you need to build that connection with people. Okay, for me, art is something that connects with you. It can be a beautiful pizza. It can be a beautiful painting. So this space, okay, and all the other spaces to come like this, give you that opportunity.
Right.
You come to the space, meet the guys, meet the people, know the brand, why it's done and how it's done. Like this conversation is happening. and then you will feel like, okay, I know this brand and I feel like buying from this. Otherwise, why not buy from 10,000 brands that already exist?
Right.
So this space is so important, and I told you this the day we met. Even if I do not keep my stuff here, I would love to come here and do a workshop, which I'm doing today, and be here for people and do a meetup and all those things.
Connect with people.
Yeah. And after, I don't know what future holds, but even when if I'm gone, this space would still mean so much to me, because we all are building this from the ground.
Right.
There is no fan club. There's no fan, there's no crowd that just shows up, okay, this space is, it's like an off-white store if that had opened here. There's no such thing. Everything is happening organically.
Right.
And that is the most beautiful thing. You're not paying for people to see this as it happens on the website. Here you walk in, either you connect or you don't.
Right.
And it is our job to facilitate
Make that connection.
Yeah. That is why this is so important. Otherwise, I don't see, and the brands who are here, it's such a huge thing for them to be here, to be able to put a face on the brand. Okay, I am here and I am the guy who has done all of this.
Yeah.
So come see the brand, come see this. You will never meet the person who started H&M or all these other brands in the store helping you out with your purchase. But we are here.
Right.
So this should be an opportunity, and as we have discussed, we'll have a lot of things happening here. We'll give opportunity to all the young guys, all the talented ones who want to display their work. They'll have a space. They can do that over a weekend and all of that.
Definitely.
So it'll be a place where this community is taking birth.
Right.
It's growing. About the scene, so again, two kind of things that I've noticed. There are people who buy and who do it for the sole purpose of flexing. Okay, they get the stuff. They are either making money by reselling the pieces. There are all kinds of stuff that I want to talk about here, but I've realized if you do not have anything good to say about something, do not say it. Right. So, like to each their own. But I just have one. I do not have a problem with resellers, and I do not have a problem with guys who only buy hype.
Yeah.
But when you look down on somebody who does not have the proper knowledge or who cannot afford something that you're wearing, when you look down on them, I have a problem with that.
Right.
When you overpitch yourself, or when you are size 8 and you're wearing size 11, when you are faking it just to make it, it pisses me off. Just as a human being, it's not business wise. And a lot of people do reselling and all these things, and I'm good with it. Okay, it's a way of things. It's a part of this whole thing.
There's more resellers in India than retailers for sure today, right? Like just in the last 6 months, there's probably been 300, 400 new accounts.
And it's good. It's good for the whole thing.
Because it grows the audience in some ways. And at some point, if 400 people are all dragging 1,000 more people into the scene, then that's adding to the scene in some way, shape or form, because at some point they're going to discover another, like a proper official retailer and a physical space where they can come in and see what they want to see. So I think there's pros and cons to it for sure, and it's imperative until like either what people are buying through resellers officially come to India and set up their own spaces, or until brands that are already in India start to get the product that they give overseas as well, is when the actual growth will happen. Until then, it's going to be fragmented through inflated prices and being, only available to a certain consumer who can afford that. But when it actually starts coming at a retail price which is at the same level as what it is abroad, and anyone and everyone can try to get it, is when I think the scene will grow. Because then you're not putting a price barrier on it. It's whatever the price barrier is, the same for everyone. So it's just that difference. And I think with this space, right, putting Indian brands right next to international brands and just letting people see, let people compare what they get for quality when they buy a Toffle product versus what they get when they buy any other international brand that a lot of people are running after. It's probably two different worlds, because the quality, the workmanship, like this stuff is made in a large factory which is making 20,000 pieces a day. What's made at a Toffle unit is, maybe making 5 pieces, 7 pieces, 10 pieces a day, and just making sure that every single detail is ironed out. So I completely understand where you're coming from, because it pisses me off at times. I love wearing my shoes, right? I love wearing sneakers, but I would never pay the price that that is being commanded in the market, because I wear them. I don't keep them on a display shelf. So I think it's just that fundamental difference. Okay, I think last question and then we'll wrap up. What is one piece of advice that you would want to give to yourself 4 years ago, and also to someone who's so it doesn't have to be one, whatever you want to say, you can say, but what would you want to tell someone who wants to start their own clothing brand today? And what would you tell yourself 4 years ago?
Okay, I have advice for people who are starting today. But to me, I don't know. Because I would not want to change things, the things that I've been through.
Right.
Because I did not make big mistakes. I had no funds to make those big mistakes. Okay, so it has worked out in my favor. And I learned very quickly. I'm a very good learner. That's all it takes for somebody to do anything and to start something creative. You need to be a very, very good observer of things, absorb them all in, and then show how you feel.
Right.
So I would just say, don't worry.
Jo hai wo hai.
I never worried, but I would still say it's all gonna be fine. It's all good. So the guys who are starting today, just start. Okay, Instagram is such a huge platform to build your brand. Okay, and for God's sake, do not put your logo on your t-shirt and try to sell it. Okay, does not matter what it says. It's not gonna sell like Supreme. Okay, just because Supreme is a word and you put in something like surprise, yeah, awesome on your t-shirt, it will not sell. They have built their shit. Okay, and it happened with me as well. I never did that. Okay, but this thought, people see Louis Vuitton and they know they cannot do this. They cannot become this brand overnight or even in 2-3 years. When they see Supreme or some streetwear brand which is making t-shirts and selling for this price and they're like, I can do it. Okay, it has been good 25-26 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably more. Yeah.
Pay respect to the brand. Okay, don't just copy things that they have done. It worked for them back then. The things that work for me will not work for you, and all of that. So when you start, just see what feels natural to you. When I go and to rent a flat, I go into all these flats and I see which one feels like home and not like this is some flat that I'm living in, and then I go for that. So similarly, a t-shirt which you absolutely love, take feedback and all of that, but that you absolutely believe in, make a rendering. You don't have to go all out. I believe in minimum input and maximum results. Okay, but that minimum input has to be with pure honesty and dedication. So work on that thing, put that out, okay, on Instagram, take people's feedback and reviews and see how they feel about your product, how if they want to buy it, and then take pre-orders or something and then start making it. All of that can be taken care of. Even I can take care of it for you.
Right.
Okay,
anyone can help you out.
That, but do not invest a lot of amount into making your first few pieces, hoping that it will sell like this because people are your friends.
Yeah, I think I've been there. I've made that mistake for sure. Now when someone, exactly what you said, right? Just start and take it. Don't expect things to turn up overnight. When we did our first launch, and this is a year and a half back, I was like, मैं कल सुबह उठूँगा, आज शाम को ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं, मैं कल सुबह उठूँगा and orders होंगे बस, orders, एक था, एक था which was, you know, some like I still did remember the name of the person who bought the first piece from us. But एक था, and I was just like, I was disappointed, and then I was like, नहीं, मतलब I can't expect things to just drum up overnight. It has to be a process. It has to take its own time.
It happens for some people. We have to accept that it happens for some people, but it's not necessary it will happen for you. So hope for the best, but prepare for the worst, as they say.
And start with one piece.
Sure, why not? Any piece, okay? Do the rendering, get people's input, and build that thing. People love to design, okay? When you have taken this responsibility of making the whole thing, other people, they love to design. They love to give their input, advice is for free. So everybody will pitch in, and somehow this product will become, you know, everybody's product, and they'll buy it. Because it is
becomes
exactly,
like a community product.
It becomes exactly what they need. So that's how selling happens. They connect with it.
No, and also I think going off that as part of your business, you allow like customers to tell you what they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can tell you exactly what they want, and you can make it for them. I think that's a very interesting.
As much as it is in my power.
Right.
I have some limitations as well, but as much as I can do, the shape, the size, the cut, I'm giving you custom fitting, custom made t-shirts for this price.
Right, which is unheard of.
I mean, it used to be a matter of luxury when people used to talk about custom made, custom fitted, tailored suits. It still is, sort of, but it has, you know, moved on from that. Now I'm doing this for a t-shirt for you. And the colors that you want to put in.
Yeah, I think that's an experience altogether. Yeah, and I think we'll see that
in the workshop.
Do you want to talk about any of the pieces?
Sure.
That will shoot differently. Apart from this podcast, will shoot differently. Like the way the shot is. So let's not do it in the podcast.
Okay.
We'll do that like very separately, like when you set up your workshop now, before that.
That will be better.
You. So as let it be like this wrap up also.
Cool. So
how do we wrap up?
I just say thank you, and we ask people to see us on the next one, and that's it. So thank you so much, Kashish. Thank you for taking the time and for all of this insight. I think it gives us also a lot more clarity, and whoever's watching, it kind of gives them an idea of how easy or hard things are when you actually see it from the ground up. So thank you for the time, and to all of you guys watching, this is Kashish from Toffle, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.